Tonight, you'll lay in bed. The room goes dark. Your body knows it's time to sleep, but your hand won't listen. It reaches for the phone anyway. You tell yourself it's just for a second. It's never just a second. Nobody designed you to do this. Something else designed this to happen to you. You think this is a habit. It's not. A habit is something you choose, over and over, until it becomes automatic. What's happening in your pocket right now is not a habit. It's a mechanism, and it was built deliberately by people who understood your brain better than you do. Here's the strange part. Your ancestors spent 2 million years scanning the horizon for danger and food. Every rustle in the grass mattered. Every flicker of movement could mean a predator or dinner. The humans who noticed small changes in their environment survived. The ones who didn't get the chance to pass on their genes. So evolution built you a brain that is exquisitely tuned to novelty. New information, small, unpredictable changes. Your phone knows this about you. Actually, it's more accurate to say the people who built it knew this about you. In the 1930s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner ran a series of experiments with pigeons in a box. He gave them a lever. Sometimes pressing it produced food. Sometimes it didn't. What Skinner discovered changed the course of behavioral science forever. Pigeons that received food every single time they pressed the lever eventually lost interest. But pigeons that received food unpredictably, on a random schedule, pressed the lever compulsively, over and over, even after the food stopped coming entirely. This is called a variable reward schedule, and it is, without exaggeration, one of the most powerful behavioral tools ever discovered. Think about what happens when you pull down to refresh your feed. Sometimes there's nothing new. Sometimes there's a message from someone you love. Sometimes there's outrage, or gossip, or a photo that makes you laugh out loud. You never know which one you're going to get. That unpredictability is not an accident. It is the entire design. Decades after Skinner's pigeons, a neuroscientist named Wolfram Schultz wanted to understand what was actually happening inside the brain during moments like this. He trained monkeys to expect a reward, a squirt of juice, after a specific cue. Then he measured their dopamine neurons. What he found surprised everyone. Dopamine wasn't firing when the reward arrived. It was firing in anticipation of the reward, and when the reward became uncertain, when the monkey didn't know if the juice was coming, dopamine activity spiked even higher. Read that again. Uncertainty produces more dopamine than certainty does. This is the exact mechanism sitting inside your phone, not the reward itself. The maybe, the not knowing. Every time you check your phone, some part of your ancient brain is running the same circuitry that once scanned the grasslands for movement, except now the grassland is a screen and the movement is a red notification dot. Does this mean you're weak? No. It means you're human. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do in an environment it was never built for. There's a researcher who spent years studying this from a different angle, not neuroscience, but design. Natasha Schul, an anthropologist, spent over a decade studying slot machine gamblers in Las Vegas for her research on what she called addiction by design. What she found was chilling. The machines weren't built to let people win. They were built to keep people in what she termed the machine zone, a trance-like state where time disappears and the outside world stops mattering. The goal wasn't the jackpot. The goal was uninterrupted play. Sound familiar? Scroll for 20 minutes and try to remember what you were originally looking for. Most people can't. That's not a failure of memory. That's the machine zone, running quietly on a phone in your pocket instead of a casino floor. Here's what makes this even stranger. Your ancestors, the ones scanning the horizon, eventually got a reward for their vigilance. They found the fruit tree. They spotted the predator in time. The system had an endpoint. Satisfaction was possible. Your phone was designed specifically to remove that endpoint. There is no bottom of the feed. There is no final notification that tells your brain, you can stop now, you're safe. The scanning behavior just continues. Forever, if you let it. So what do you actually do with this? You can't uninstall 2 million years of evolution. Your dopamine system isn't broken and it isn't going anywhere, but you can change what it's responding to. Some of the same researchers who study this compulsive checking behavior have found that the urge to check peaks and then fades, usually within a few minutes if you don't act on it. The craving isn't permanent. It's a wave, and waves pass, whether or not you paddle out to meet them. Simple friction works better than willpower. Moving the phone to another room, turning notifications off instead of just silencing them. These aren't productivity hacks. They're a way of interrupting a circuit that was built by people whose entire job was to make interruption difficult. There is something almost beautiful and a little sad in all of this. The very trait that let your ancestors survive the African savanna, the drive to notice, to check, to stay alert to any small change in the environment, is the same trait being harvested quietly and profitably every time you unlock your screen.
You are not weak-willed.
You are not lacking discipline. You are carrying a survival instinct that has nowhere left to go, so it goes to your phone instead. Tonight, you'll lay in bed again. The room will go dark, and your hand will reach for the phone, the same way it always does. But maybe, this time, you'll recognize what's actually happening. Not a bad habit, not a personal failing, just an ancient brain, doing ancient work, in a world that finally figured out how to sell it back to you.